Good afternoon. My name is Diane Varga. I'm with Family Partners of Morrison, Sussex County, and I welcome you to this week's Lunch and Learn. Today is September 12th, 2024. Our presenters today are Samantha Orris and Jamie Osborne. They are with Employment Horizons, and they are going to give us a little bit more about Employment Horizons and what you do. Welcome, Samantha and Jamie, and thank you everyone for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Diane. It's a pleasure to be here and to be able to share with everybody more about what Jamie and I do at Employment Horizons. So we'll get started. Um, as Diane said, I'm Samantha Orris. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Employment Horizons. So I oversee all of the programs and services that we're going to talk about today. Jamie Osborne is our Manager of Training and Education, and Jamie will talk to all of you more about our RISE Youth Transition to Employment program, as well as our vocational evaluations. So, what is Employment Horizons? Employment Horizons is a not for profit that was founded in 1957. It was founded by a group of concerned parents in Morristown who were looking for employment options for their young adult children with disabilities to help them integrate into society after school. Back then, there wasn't the services that there are today, so they needed to create their own. Employment Horizons as an organization provides job training and placement services for folks with disabilities and other barriers to employment. And we're a social business enterprise, which means we do this through our business units, our fulfillment center, commercial services, Cafe Horizons, and staffing services. The programs that we offer are vocational rehabilitation services, career development services, training and education, and culinary arts. And today we'll talk about career development, training and education, and culinary arts. As a not-for-profit, Employment Horizons takes in most of our funding from grants, fundraising, and through the state of New Jersey. So we're going to start this off by talking about DVRS. DVRS is the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. It falls under the Department of Labor in the state of New Jersey. So basically, in order to get most of the services that Jamie and I are going to speak about, with a couple of small exceptions, someone needs to be registered with the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Services first. Um, in order to do that, there is a form that you could fill out on the division's website. There's also an office in every county in the state. So you would be able to call your county office in order to get more information. For Morris County, you would be going to the Randolph location. That would be the closest one to this area. And the way it works is DVRS will do an intake to ensure that the individual is eligible for services and that they do, in fact, have a disability. And then they will discuss what the person's goals and interests are and provide them with a list of vendors to choose from, of which someone could choose Employment Horizons. DVRS's purpose is basically to provide the funding for the service, ensure eligibility for the service, and then pretty much be the liaison to ensure that Employment Horizons is doing what we're supposed to be doing for the individual and doing what we're supposed to be doing with the money that we're receiving from the state in order to provide the services for that individual. The good thing about all of this is the services that Employment Horizons provides to folks with disabilities are free to those individuals. There's not something that somebody is going to get a bill for. There's not something that someone has to be concerned about in terms of a monetary cost if they reach out to us asking for help. Things are just covered by the state of New Jersey by and large. There are certain things that would be covered by a DDD budget if somebody does have DDD and a budget, but that is very limited. 95% of the things that we do would be covered by DVRS. So the first thing to discuss is supported employment. This is the biggest service that we provide, and it's probably the thing that people would be most familiar with. This would be the job coaching that you see. So helping someone to find a job out in the community and then helping them to be successful in the job. The way that works is, as I said, individuals would be referred to DVRS. So that would be their starting point. They can either self refer. So, like I said, you can go on their website, you can fill out the form, you can give them a call. Or for folks still in school, the school can connect you to DVRS and initiate that referral process. Folks would have their initial intake, they would develop a plan for employment. DVRS would refer them to an agency like Employment Horizons to begin their services. And then Employment Horizons, DVRS, and that person all work together to ensure that the individual is successful. Everything provided by Employment Horizons is going to be person centered. So everything is going to look a little bit differently for every individual that we serve, but this is the general track that somebody would follow when getting services from us and the general path that things would take. So, what would the different phases be in supported employment? When someone initially is referred to us for supported employment, we would typically start off with pre placement. So we would receive the referral information from the state. Our job coach would schedule an initial intake, and the job coach would be decided based off of who would be a good fit for that person based off the information that we would receive. So, where does that person live? What are they interested in doing? What type of support needs do they have? And we would try to make the best match possible between our staff and the client. So, our staff would call, they'd have the initial intake meeting. We would discuss what type of jobs somebody would like to have, what they're good at, what they're not so good at, what they like to do, what they want to do, what they definitely don't want to do. And together, we would build again a person centered plan to help that individual to obtain employment. We would then help with looking for a job for an interview, and we can also go on an interview with our client. So we can't answer the questions, but we can make sure that the individual understands that we would move into the job coaching phase. So job coaching is an intensive level of support to help somebody learn a particular job. So that would be the level that somebody needs. It could be a lot of time spent on the job site. It could be less time spent on the job site. It could be checking in. It could be really sitting side by side and learning the task together. Again, everything is person centered, so it would be really built on what that individual needs. We would also help that person to build relationships with their coworkers and supervisors and learn who to ask questions to. This all helps to ensure long term success on the job. Once the individual is comfortable with the job and comfortable with what they have to do, the job coach starts to fade back. So at that point, the job coach comes less frequently and stays for shorter periods of time. Eventually, they transition into what's called long term follow along. And this means the person is stable in their employment, and we're just going in or calling on the phone or meeting for coffee to make sure that the person is happy and comfortable, and that the employer is happy with the performance and that all their needs are currently being met. We're still there to help resolve any issues that come up. And if a larger issue comes up, such as perhaps a new manager or a new task that needs to be learned, we can always step back in and provide a more significant level of support again as needed, and help to resolve any issues that might come up. And now Jamie can tell you about the RISE program.
Thanks, Samantha. Hi, everyone. Like Sam said, I'm Jamie Osborne. I oversee our youth transition program, the RISE program, which is geared and offered to the youth in the local communities. It is funded under the Department of Labor. And eligibility requirements for this grant include individuals must be between the ages of 16 to 24, residing in Passaic, Morris, or Sussex County, no longer enrolled in high school, a transition program, college course, vocational setting, with the purpose so they can really focus on what this program has to offer for their overall long-term success, and not working more than 12 hours a week, again, so they can focus only on this program to ensure that they understand and can move forward in the adult world and workforce. It provides a more intensive level of support to make the transition easier from the school setting to the adult world for both the individual and their personal support system. Our program starts with an intake that I do personally to ensure that the program is a fit for all participants enrolled and vice versa. Individuals do need to complete a math and reading assessment as well as a short interest profiler for my staff and I to really have a solid baseline of information in conjunction with reports and evaluations, again, to really hone in and support those young individuals. RISE conducts a 4-week-long job readiness class that is offered here in our office in Cedar Knolls, which runs Monday through Thursday, 9 to 12:30. There are 2 RISE instructors at all times. The way the class works is there is a PowerPoint presentation each day with topics including financial literacy, interpersonal skills, workplace safety, coworker relationships. So it mimics the services of supported employment. The RISE program is a slower, more intensive program that is a safe space for the youth to ask questions, to really have the opportunity to feel safe, to understand and ask questions in a natural group, social setting. So it ties in all those components as well. Providing career counseling, and really identifying vocational goals if someone is unsure or if someone has an idea of what they want to do, really has the opportunity to explore through the different topics discussed through the 4 weeks. In addition to the presentations each day, my staff provide supplemental activities, interactive activities as well. So really tying in the social emotional components as well for folks. So once the 4-week class is ended, individuals then explore job sampling opportunities, which in simplest terms is like a working interview. There's no pressure, with the expectation of, just going in to explore and confirm or identify the appropriate goals for the individuals. Employment Horizons does pay our individuals minimum wage for their time because we believe that their time is valuable and should be compensating them as such. It's not limited to just job sampling. It could be job shadowing, which is more observational. So again, a different approach, or informational session. So if somebody's not sure if they want to explore college class or certificate program, we can go with them, collect all information and help them, process and understand their options with the end goal of a placement. Placements for the RISE program include competitively integrated employment. Also, in addition, it could be military, college, certificate, specific vocational training programs. So overall, it's really helping ensure that individuals are taking that first significant step into the adult world and the workforce with ongoing support. So once somebody is placed, a majority of the time it is employment. I transition individuals to our job coaches in our supported employment department. So there's no lapse in our services or lack of support during this time. So that motivation and ongoing support is provided. The RISE program was started in 2020 and has been growing at a really great rate. So My cohorts roll out about every 6 weeks, and the wait list is ongoing. So in which I receive calls is the way, individuals are placed in each group. And then as well, like Samantha said, I oversee our vocational evaluations. Vocational evaluations can be referred to us either by the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation or local school districts for individuals to, again, help identify goals, skill sets, aptitudes. And the way we do that is through a variety of evaluations that we are an approved vendor for. They're, assessments of abilities and aptitudes that kind of gauge an individual's interests, skill sets, strengths, weaknesses to provide a fair recommendation for future steps. This is through a variety of programs and assessments specific to each individual and their various abilities. So my vocational evaluator meets with the individual, creates a vocational plan, and then conducts the evaluations in a variety of settings, both in our office and in the community, and then makes, again, a recommendation, whether it be the RISE program or supported employment department, culinary arts, whatever it may be. So that way they can, have that concrete baseline information for them to have that ongoing support.
And the last program that we're going to discuss with you today is our Culinary Arts Training Program. So, our Culinary Arts program is the newest program at Employment Horizons. This DVRS referral based program just rolled out earlier this year with our first cohort. The instructor is experienced in working with individuals with disabilities, having taught culinary arts work to that population for over 5 years already prior to beginning this program. And the program is specifically geared to adults with various types of disabilities. Um, and it's designed to help them to get a job in a integrated restaurant or other food service setting. So this is geared towards an end goal of community employment. In the 2 cohorts that we've had, we've seen a wide range of abilities and support needs. But it has been a very exciting new program for us. This program does have the opportunity to earn a credential towards the end of the cohort. Students have the ability to take the Serve Safe Food Handler certification. I can safely say that in our first cohort, out of the students that opted to take the certification exam, we had a 100% pass rate. The exam for the current cohort was only just taken 2 days ago because the cohort finishes today. So I'm not sure of the pass rate on that one yet. But we're very proud of the first cohort of students that we had. And this program, it's very similar to the RISE program in structure in that it's 10 weeks long. It meets Monday through Thursday. This runs from 10 until 2. And it's a blend of lecture type of education with also a significant amount of hands-on education. And the instructor goes over everything that someone would need to know in order to work in the food service industry. That includes knife skills, making hot food, making cold food, food storage, sanitation, good hygiene practices, knife skills, customer service, appropriate use of equipment, and so on. So it really does gear folks to take those next steps. And it ties in nicely to our other services where any of Jamie's programs can refer individuals into this program. So if someone does the RISE program and is really interested in food service and says, wow, this is like what I want to do, Jamie can then connect that person with the culinary program. When they complete that program, they can be connected to supported employment. So again, it continues to provide a smooth transition of services where everything is all under one roof, all the staff communicate with each other, And you don't have to worry about this agency trying to get in touch with that agency in order for folks to have the best understanding of the individual, because everyone is just here and knows each other and can easily communicate. So it does make our programs and services that much stronger. So with that, I'll stop sharing my screen in a second. Here is mine and Jamie's contact information one last time. But that is it for our formal presentation. And Diane, if it's good with you, we can certainly open it up for questions whenever you're ready.
Sorry. I'd like to thank you both for sharing your time with us today and this important information. I will stop the recording in a moment. I just wanted to let everybody know that this recording will be available on the Family Partners YouTube channel and also on our social media within the week. And I wanted to thank everybody today for also joining us. I will stop the recording now and open it up to questions.